Sure. I think that no matter public school, private school, or anything else like that, there's always room for teacher leadership and for teachers to grow into leaders. In a charter school setting, I feel like that opportunity is even greater
Oh.
just because in most states the funding mechanism for charter schools is different. So typically, charter schools are charged with doing more with less, and that you want to spend as many or as much of your dollars on your teachers to make sure that you have good teachers. So some of those other overhead positions, you might entrust some of your teachers to work on projects or to be on specific committees to help build that school leadership as well.
Okay. For the record, I know we just kind of started
I'm
in.
Teresa Ellison. I'm the assistant principal here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, what specific opportunities do you have here at the school?
Well, for a lot of our teachers, some of them start out who have aspirations as far as leadership or learning more or mentoring others. It may be in that mentor role, providing teacher leadership for incoming teachers or new teachers or TAP candidates or Teach for America candidates.
Okay.
That is a big leadership position in itself, and it really helps in that you're building teachers' capacity. From there, some of our teachers actually have an interest in leading their team, so they may become team leaders, and they're kind of part of that leadership team that meets with administration to make sure that whether it's disseminating information or problem solving or coming up with great solutions and really having a direct impact on student success and achievements. We have some teachers who have taken on project-based opportunities. For example, they may be a blended learning platform coordinator or a tutoring coordinator. So you're having to build those management skills as well as those leadership skills all together. So from that perspective, we definitely try to use teacher leaders in helping us manage those things, as well as we have teachers that have definite gifts and skill sets in certain curriculum areas, and they're really good at teaching back information. So being a teacher leader for curriculum content or classroom management or technology use in their classroom. So giving teachers that opportunity to present to the faculty as well and use their gifts and skill sets in that way. From there, we've utilized a teacher on task before to help and support in administrative roles, whether that's helping scheduling, helping with athletic directorship, helping with discipline, some of the easier discipline skill sets, and consequences, and even checking in with kids and different things like that. So we've used teachers in a variety of ways to help foster and create that leadership sense. Some eventually move on to other leadership positions, whether it may be a curriculum resource teacher, someone who really specializes in working with teachers, or even to a dean of students or to an assistant principal. I myself started out as a classroom teacher or an electives-based teacher and had additional roles and kind of stepped into those roles and just kept going. So that was an interest of mine. So from that perspective, we always try to grow from within and build up our teachers who have those skill sets that do want to be leaders.
Huh. That brings me to another thought, because I read something on the TeachNet website where they said or it was in some article, that when teachers tend to go to administrative positions, sometimes teachers who are still in the classroom don't see the administrators as being relevant.
It's hard, and I would say initially, from my perspective, when I first moved into a teacher on task role and then into a dean of students role, for some of our teachers who were here when I was still a teacher, that was a little bit different and challenging at times. You really had to make sure that you had your knowledge and your background information in order to be able to present that leadership role or that authority figure. As we have had teachers come and go, and there's not as many teachers that I used to work with, it's become a little bit easier. Just because they don't necessarily look and say, oh, well, she used to be the teacher next door to me or something like that. So that has gotten a little bit easier. I think from a leadership perspective, it's all about in how you relate and build relationships with your teachers. I'll be the first to tell my teachers I am not a reading specialist, so I will find somebody who is. I'm not going to try to tell you how to do your job if I don't know how to be a reading specialist or something like
That's
that.
great. That's great. And I did notice that in several meetings that you led, you would always bring in somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's how you keep stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any teacher leadership opportunities that serve the greater community outside of the school that you're aware of?
Probably. I don't know how well we do a good job here at our school with that. We definitely want to have a bigger impact on our community. And so we're looking for those teachers that can, whether it's through mentoring kids or helping them establish partnerships in the community, we always look for that. But I don't think we're quite there yet.
Okay. So it's more within the school setting that you have those leadership roles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of leadership roles would be available for maybe a first-year teacher?
I think it really depends on their comfort. You may have some first-year teachers who come in and they're really good with technology because that's how they've done a lot of their education or they have a passion for it. So from that professional development standpoint, being able to teach other teachers how to do things, I think that's pretty powerful because you get teachers who have been in the classroom for a while and they may not know how to use technology or may not have the latest and greatest trends in education background. So giving them that opportunity there. We have had young teachers who have definite gifts and skill sets with coaching teams or being extracurricular sponsors and not necessarily just forcing you to be a sponsor of a club or something like that, but that's a passion and that helps you build those leadership skills with other students, maybe students that you're not teaching. So that's always a possibility. Usually we try not to overwhelm our first year teachers because the first year can often be overwhelming enough. And if they're coming to you saying, oh, I want to do this, this, and this, then we want to make sure that we at least have them partnered up with a mentor teacher or a buddy that maybe you really want to be the yearbook sponsor, but you've never done a yearbook before. So let me partner you up with somebody and you can start to build your leadership skills and still learn the process without being thrown to the wolves.
Okay.
So that's important for us.
Do you automatically pair new teachers with older mentor teachers?
We try to, even if it's just for somebody to be able to answer questions. Or, you know, if you were coming from another state and maybe you didn't know Georgia that well, maybe it's the standpoint from, okay, here are the Georgia standards. So it really kind of depends on their experience. And even if they're new to our building, but they've taught for 5 or 6 years somewhere else, we still try to buddy them up with somebody that's been here in the building so that they can be, hey, how do you do this? So we do try to foster that mentor relationship.
Wow, that's really great. I'm glad to see how many opportunities you have. About what percent would you say, I mean, just like roughly, how many teachers within the school do you think have leadership roles? Because it almost sounds like everybody does at one point.
At some point in time, they really do because they're leaders in their team. They step up. We have some specific teachers that are specific coordinators for like our STEAM project. They're leading the charge on helping discover how we can do that. I would, besides just your team leaders and things like that, which we would have 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 team leaders because we include not just grade levels, but we do the electives-based teachers and we do a special education team leader as well.
Oh, I didn't think about the electives, but yeah.
So we try to give everybody a voice and allow them to participate and be able to share information with somebody that can then bring it to administration. I would say we probably have a good 15 or 20 teachers that are in the building that do something besides just teach in the classroom in some sort of leadership capacity.
Wow. And that's out of approximately how many teachers in the building?
50.
50.
Or so.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've got a gigantic percentage there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really good.
And some teachers really just want to be teachers within their 4 walls of their classroom and that's their gifts and skill sets, but they're still leaders within their classroom, and you can still foster those leadership skills as well.
Okay. Okay, that's
Nurse
good
Amy.
to know. It's okay. Let's see what else. Oh, have you worked in any other schools besides Coweta Charter?
I have, not in an official administration role.
Mm-hmm.
I've taught high school, elementary, and I have done some undergraduate college teaching assistant positions
Oh,
where
wow.
I've taught a couple of lower level college classes. For me, the whole leadership or administrative perspective, that's always kind of been probably in my nature.
Okay.
I think I probably always knew that I would eventually end up in administration. But I've learned things all along the way from different teachers and different administrators.
Okay.
So I think even in those opportunities, one of my first teaching jobs, I was new to the high school, and in high school settings, it's a little bit different. You're in a bigger school and everything else, and they were like, "You're the class sponsor," and it was just given to me.
Oh dear.
And I had no idea that meant I inherited them as ninth graders and stayed with them through their senior year. And I was responsible for everything, for the proms, for everything that class did, for graduation. So developing some initial early on, even if it's student-led leadership skills, those things you kind of look back on and say, oh, well, this is where I kind of picked up on this, or I had this opportunity to be a leader.
Okay.
And different things along the way.
I was asking that because I wanted to know how you would compare the teacher unity, or at least overall school unity at those other schools which maybe were larger versus where you currently are now.
I think it's different. In a high school setting, I think because at least the high schools I've been a part of are so large, you've got a good family or team concept within your grade level or your department, or just people who are on your hallway. But I think when schools get really big, you start to lose some of that cohesiveness. I think the cohesiveness and the culture of the building, it has to be fostered and it has to be taken care of, and that has to come from your leadership as well. And if it's not a priority of leadership, then you start to see that cohesiveness and culture start to disintegrate.
Okay.
And I think it's something you have to work at all the time. Just because it's good today or good this year doesn't mean it's going to be good next year. So it's something you have to continually work on.
And y'all, I noticed when we had the December meeting, you started off with that gigantic icebreaker, which is really great. What other opportunities are there besides, I guess, leadership for fostering that school unity?
So one of the things that we have done is we have kind of built into our Sunshine Committee, and they are responsible for celebrating birthdays or babies or just fun opportunities in the school. One of the things that the administrative team here has done is we try to do our First Fridays. Just the little things to help our teachers know that we appreciate them and we are thankful for them. But I think from that perspective, I've been in schools where the administration hasn't been the one to necessarily lead the charge, that you may have a teacher or even a small group of teachers who they're like, okay, we want to do this because we want to celebrate this, or we want to recognize teachers, or anything to kind of pick up morale or lead that step in having a positive culture. Because teachers are definitely powerful players in that. One teacher's attitude can change a whole team for the positive or the negative. So we hope we have a lot of teachers who lead in the positive.
Okay. Have you generally noticed that here at the school?
Yes, we do have a lot of teachers who work extremely hard. All of our teachers work extremely hard, and they want to lift each other up, and they're not typically the teachers that go to their room and close their door and just want to be by themselves. So they're interested in building capacity of others and of our school. They all want our school to be successful.
I forgot to ask, how many years have you been at Coweta Charter?
I have been here since 2010, so this
Okay.
is my
Seven?
starting seventh year or mid seventh year.
Mid seventh year.
Mhm.
All right. So have you only recently just employed some of these teacher leadership roles, or have you been able to see them like grow over time? Or?
Most of them are new.
Ah.
So, for example, our CRT is new this year. She comes with great skill sets, but she is new to our school. Some of our teacher leaders, they have used some of their leadership skills in other project areas and leading up to becoming a team lead. Or a coordinator for something else, or we've invested some of those opportunities for summer professional development, and now they feel more comfortable with leading professional development or thinking maps or something like that. So our staff for the most part is pretty young. So I think that's a project that we continue to work on, is to build their leadership skills and help them see that they have the leadership opportunity, whether they choose to be in administration, which, like I said, not everybody is cut out for that or wants to do that. Some people just want to teach. But you have great teachers who like to teach adults too and help other teachers become great teachers.
What do you have, the summer professional development? I'm curious about that.
For example, we looked at a group of teachers this past summer and really charged them with becoming our Thinking Maps team. So we sent them to Thinking Maps training to become Thinking Maps trainers, so that they can help foster and lead that charge as far as making sure that we're implementing our Thinking Maps initiative with fidelity and being a resource for other teachers to be able to go to. So we do look for other opportunities. One thing that we've done today is we've picked 2 teachers out to attend a responsive classroom training, and they will come back and provide responsive classroom training and updates for the whole staff.
Wow.
So we try to find teachers that have specific gifts and skill sets and then provide them with opportunities, and then come back and update the rest of the staff or train them on something new or something like that.
Wow. I really like that, because I'm seeing how it makes everyone so much stronger along the way. Let's see, what else was I going? Well, I did want to ask, was Miss Ernest one of those for the Thinking Maps? Because
She was. She was.
How often do you have these, I don't want to say faculty meetings, but like throughout the year? Because it sounds like there are lots of like meetings where the teachers teach the teachers.
Yes. We tried to set up a professional development calendar so that, like, one Wednesday is our leadership team, so it would be our team leaders or any other critical components in administration. So we try to set it up so that they meet one Wednesday. In building capacity and leadership skills and giving teachers a voice, we also have a committee Wednesday. So those are our sunshine committees, or our Thinking Maps, or STEAM, or student events, giving them those opportunities to plan events and things like that. That's one Wednesday. And then we typically do 2 professional development meetings a month. One of them may be school-wide. So, for example, Thinking Maps. A lot of our Thinking Map training was done on a Wednesday afternoon, and that's school-wide. And then we've also tried to give teachers a voice in what they want to become stronger at. So one of those Wednesdays is typically a choice session. Do you want to work on Thinking Maps? Do you want to do student engagement? Do you want to do responsive classroom? Do you want to do a book study? So we try to give teachers that opportunity there. So.
Wow. It's really nice that you have it all just set out where you have so many opportunities.
We try. It doesn't always work out like I hope or in my head, but we're getting there.
Would you say you have greater teacher unity because, I guess, I've come from public schools almost my whole life, and there was a lot of administration, but also serving like a gigantic amount of teachers. So having the smaller administration allows for more teachers to step into those administrative roles?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. And like I said, to build your own leadership skills. You may not necessarily want to be an administrator, but you're an ELA teacher and you have a passion for reading. So maybe you're in charge of our reading challenge, or you're in charge of our spelling bee, or something like that. Or you're passionate about math and you're in charge of our math competitions. So giving teachers the opportunity to lead those projects. Our end of the year celebrations, we have a committee that helps put those together because they have a direct say, a direct input. They get to pick the awards and come up with the whole plan. And then we just approve it or say, let's tweak it a little bit from a thinking big, and trying to make sure everything is, we're aware of everything. So, just, it helps when your teachers and your staff have that opportunity to have a voice, and whether that's through leadership or planning or just having that opportunity to have a say in something, that builds their leadership and their capacity.
Wow. Thank you so much
You're
for
quite
this.
welcome.
I am incredibly impressed with this school.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank you.
it makes me want to work in a smaller school because I can see how united everyone is. And I mean, you've basically just convinced me. I never wanted to go to public school anyway, but now I definitely don't want to go.
There are great schools no matter where you are at, and I just think that, you know, whether you're the teeny tiniest small little public school in a small rural town, or, you know, in a great big school in a striving metropolis, but I think it's all about the culture of the building, and if the culture of the building is a place you want to be and it's positive and you're uplifting teachers and giving them the opportunity to grow too, that makes a difference in student achievement.
And you've really noticed that here?
I do. And even with our teacher morale, if you give teachers a voice and give them opportunities to grow, yes, you're still always going to have some teachers that are like, oh, we have too much to do. And that's just education. That's what it's become. So whether they have a lot to do here, they have a lot, if not more tedious things to do somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think we're a great size. So I'm excited about the direction that we have the opportunity to go in.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this, for your time.
You are quite welcome.
Well, bye, Teach now.